Good morning. Hope you're having a great week. It is, well, weekend, not week. It's Saturday, November 9th, 10:54 a.m. Central Standard Time, local time here in Terrell, Texas, which for those of you not familiar with Texas, it's the east side of Dallas. I'm at Maddox Incorporated trying to pick up a load, and my fellow truck drivers leaving me early Christmas presents like they always do. I get Christmas presents all year long. Seems like every trailer I pick up has issues. I will say that moving from USA Truck to Landstar, I tend to not have as many issues with trailers or as many major issues with trailers. Like at Landstar, when I pick up a trailer, it's usually something like the ABS light is out, which most truck drivers don't know how to inspect the ABS light. Or there's a marker light out or something like that. It's usually nothing serious, but I have to put the trailer in the shop almost every time I do a drop and hook, even at Landstar. And at USA Truck, it was really bad. Like, you'd go to pick up a load and the trailer would like be split in half. I mean, it was crazy shit. I remember one trailer that I went to pick up in Grand Prairie, Texas. What the hell was wrong with it? The landing gears were, I forgot what it was. There was a whole bunch of shit wrong with the trailer. I want to say I made a video about it, but I remember getting on with USA Truck's trailer department and telling them that they were going to have to send a tow truck out to pick that thing up. They're like, no, we're not. Hook up to the trailer and take it to a shop. And I'm like, no. And then after I finished explaining to them everything that was wrong with it, they were like, are you kidding me? Yeah, we're going to have to get a specialized tow truck out there to pick that crap up. Can't believe somebody dropped off a trailer like that. But yeah, the trailers that people drop off. So I'm sitting here waiting on a roadside mechanic. Why am I waiting on a roadside mechanic? What's wrong with this trailer? I don't do in-depth inspections on shit. I'm not crawling underneath here and checking the thickness of the brake pads and shit like that. I'm a lights, tires, mud flaps, and paperwork kind of guy. That's about all I check on a trailer or a tractor is lights, tires, mud flaps, and paperwork. I take the paperwork out, make sure that I have all the paperwork. I make sure the VIN number matches on the registration. I make sure that the license plate number matches the registration. Make sure the DOT inspection's up to date. And lights, tires, mud flaps. So, what's wrong with this trailer? All right. The top corner there's two lights, two marker lights. The one that's forward facing doesn't work. Well, I thought that it didn't work at all, but I've got these little steps right here on the trailer. I climbed up those steps and I put my face right up against the light, and the light actually does work. It's just so dim that you have to be like right in front of it to see it. So it's not legal because the light has to have a certain amount of brightness for it to be legal. It's not just on or off or working or not working. It actually has to have a certain amount of luminance. Issue number 2 is a really common problem that I encounter. ABS light is out. So how are you supposed to check the ABS light since most truck drivers don't seem to know how to check the ABS light? And you can get a lot of tickets for an ABS light out, because if the ABS light is out, then you have no idea if the ABS is functioning. So if you get inspected by DOT and that light is out, they can give you a ticket for having a light out, and they can give you a ticket for non-functional ABS. 2 tickets for having that light out. So how do you test it? This electrical line right here, take it out, put it back in. Whenever you first connect the electrical line, the trailer goes through a diagnostic. that ABS light is supposed to come on for about 2 seconds whenever you plug it in. If it doesn't come on, then your light's out. And your light can be out because the light's out or the ABS doesn't work. Either one. You don't know what is wrong with it. You're going to have a mechanic come out. Unless you have a spare ABS light and you can get in there and swap it out. But these ABS lights can be a pain in the ass to replace. This one's riveted in. So I think to replace that ABS light, they have to pop this plate off, pull those rivets out. And I can tell you right now that most of these companies don't want drivers replacing lights on trailers, because I've offered to do it with USA Truck and Landstar. What in the fuck is that thing? I don't know what that is. It was just jammed in there like that. And I pull it out and it's got some kind of circuit board in it and a wire coming off of it. There's nothing that's supposed to go in that little slot right there, so somebody just like jammed that in there. We'll put that in my garbage. So yeah, ABS lights out, marker lights out. Is that it? Is that why I'm waiting on roadside? No, that's not it. I have picked up trailers from here several times that had those two exact issues, a marker light out or an ABS light out or both. I just put that piece of garbage in my chair. Next time I crawl into the truck, I'll throw it in the trash. And I'll roll with it. I'll just take it to a shop and get it repaired at a shop. Though, the reason I'm waiting on roadside, got two reasons. This is number one. I don't know if you can see that, but that tire is just dangling on the rim. It's completely flat. And the other one's on the inside, right there. That one is also dangling on the rim, completely flat. I have an auto air system on here, so, well, hello there, little bird. I have auto air on the trailer, so I ran the trailer, brake with the brakes off, trying to air up the tires with the auto air system, and neither tire would grab a bead. I sat there and let it run for an hour trying to air up the tires, and neither tire grabbed a bead. So then I gave up and called, you know what? I've got something for the birds. Then I gave up and I called roadside. So they said the mechanic cannot replace that light up there that requires a ladder. They'll only do that in the shop. That plane is loud. I'm gonna pause this while I grab something for the birds. All right, we got something for the birds. What was I saying? I was trying to air it up with the auto air and it couldn't grab a bead. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying after that. All right, let me see if I can set the phone here. I don't know if you can actually see anything with it there, but put some peanuts out. We'll put some peanuts out there for the birds. It's a thing of peanuts so some of the birds, that one right there has no fear. He's just over there getting some. These other three, they're like, nah, let's step back and wait for a minute. Let's see what happens to this guy. Yeah, now they're afraid of missing out, so they're gonna run in there and get some. I'm backing off so they won't be so scared. But Yeah, I carry peanuts around to snack on, but also to feed to animals. The main reason I buy peanuts is to feed the squirrels in my backyard. Speaking of which, did you guys hear about Peanut the squirrel? Probably one of the most famous squirrels in the world. Some guy has a whole bunch of social media accounts and like a wildlife sanctuary dedicated to Peanut, this rescue squirrel he has. And some social media influencer, I've heard a whole bunch of things. I don't know how much of it is true. Supposedly she has an OnlyFans or something, and she got mad that this squirrel had more followers than her. So she reported the squirrel to New York State Wildlife or something. And they came in and took the squirrel, because to have a squirrel as a pet, you have to have like a permit, and the guy did not have the proper permit. So they took the squirrel, and in the process of taking the squirrel, it bit somebody. So they euthanized the squirrel, and they also took, the guy had a pet raccoon. And they took the raccoon, they euthanized both of them, from what I remember. I'm not sure if they, from what I remember, they euthanized both of them, and their excuse was to check for rabies. Because one of the squirrels bit someone. That pisses me off. That really upsets me. I am not a fan of pets. I don't like people that have pets, but I do like animals. Like I don't like people who keep animals as pets. But like if you have squirrels in your yard, you feed them all the time, I don't consider that a pet. Like the squirrels in my backyard, they are not like friendly toward me. If I go in the backyard, they'll run away. And I do not try to get them to like humans, or I'm not trying to get them to lose their fear of humans, because there are a lot of bad humans out there, and I don't want them to be friendly with humans and encounter one of the bad humans and end up dead. So, what all is going on with me? Aside from sitting here waiting on some tires. I'm gonna put, there's only like 3 of them that are coming over here getting these peanuts. I'm gonna put some more peanuts out up here at the front. And then I'm gonna put my jug of peanuts in the truck before I forget them. Leave them on the DOT bumper and drive off with them on the DOT bumper. I'll just put some out there. And then we'll toss them in the truck. Let me grab my soda. I am thirsty. So, salty peanuts drying your throat out, huh? So they're lapping up the water. So, aside from sitting here waiting on a roadside to show up, what's going on. Well, once I get this load ready to go, then I'm going to be heading off to Portland. And sorry about all the noise. There's an airport right next to this place. So I'm going to be taking off to Portland. The load doesn't deliver until Thursday, so I've got plenty of time to get there. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to take my normal route. My normal route is Amarillo and then cut across on highways from Amarillo to Interstate 25. And then 25 up to Cheyenne, and then the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. 80 over to Salt Lake, and then, what is it, 82 or 84? I get those two mixed up all the time. 84, 82, whichever one it is, take that all the way to Portland. That is the big plan. But if the weather is still really bad, which they've been wrong on the predictions of that snowstorm, initially the snowstorm was supposed to end Friday around noon, and the last thing that I saw on it was that it was supposed to end today, Saturday, at around noon. And it dumped a lot more snow. It lasted about a day longer than expected and dumped a lot more snow than expected. It's like some kind of record-setting snowfall. And you wouldn't think it here in Dallas. It's probably 80 degrees out here. I'm looking forward to getting into some cold weather. I don't like hot weather. Oh, somebody's burning some tires. There they go. They're in an old style pickup truck. One of the Maddox employees. So, something I've been thinking about. Oh, by the way, as far as the load goes, I don't have any plans for my next load. I'll just see whatever's on the load board. And yes, I know my truck's ugly. That Ukrainian guy that looked like he's about 19 years old drove his flatbed trailer over top of my truck at the TA in Denton, Texas. It's been like 2 years now. I don't know exactly how long it's been. It's been a while. Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. But this is all just cosmetic damage, and the freight market's just horrendous, and I can't justify spending money fixing cosmetic damage. So I don't like that it doesn't look pretty, but there's no functional issue. And I've had like 5 DOT inspections with it like that, and Landstar Safety has inspected it, so it's good to go. But I still don't like the way it looks. It actually won't take very much to fix it. Yeah, replacing that fuel tank is really expensive. That's like $1,500 just for the tank itself, plus the labor cost to replace it. But replacing this fairing right here doesn't even need to be replaced. I can buff that black out right there. I can fix that. That doesn't need to be replaced. That door panel and that fairing. Actually, this fairing, I don't even know if I need to replace this. I can probably cover up these scratches. All I really need is to replace this door panel. I'm not even sure this really needs to be replaced. I can probably, it's metal. This door panel, that is loud. This door panel is metal, so I might be able to just get a hammer and knock it back into the rough approximation of what shape it's supposed to be into. This is fiberglass, but I could probably just paint over this stuff. I mean, it's just cosmetic damage. There's a few things that I could do where I could make it to where that wouldn't even show up. It'd be really hard to tell. You'd have to know it was there. I could do all that myself. The main thing is this right here. That fairing was ripped completely off and broken in half. So I would just have to buy a new one of those, and it would cost me a couple $100. So I could actually fix all of that for $200 to $300 plus some of my own elbow grease. But it also, whenever he hit me, it tweaked the door. I don't know if you can tell right here. It's really hard to tell, but the door is bent out a little bit right here. This was like $3,000 on the insurance payout. This little damage right here, bending the door. And the door still seals really well and everything. So I don't really see a reason to replace that. I got paid $3,000 for the damage. The total payout for that was 12 grand with a $500 deductible. So let's talk about something else. Let's talk about how far away are we into this? 21 minutes. I want to talk about boats. So if you've been following the channel, then you know that I've been thinking about off-grid living. Like, I like how they run over there and they grab a peanut and then they take off like they're stealing it. But off-grid living. So ever since I've gotten back into trucking, I've been thinking about selling my house, selling my car, living full-time in the truck, buying some land, some really cheap land out in the middle of nowhere, and building some off-grid shelter there. Why have I been thinking about that? Well, I've been thinking about my retirement. I can't drive a truck forever. I mean, once you get to a certain age, it's really hard to do anything that pays very well, except for like maybe be president. Being president's about the only job that you can do at 80 years old and make a lot of money. And I don't think I'm going to be getting that job. So I've been thinking about what I'm going to do once, I get to retirement age. And what I would like is I would like to have some type of set my soda down here. I would like to have some kind of living situation where I could actually live off of Social Security, if it still exists. Something where I could live off like $1,000 a month. So that off-grid house, if I had solar panels and crap like that, then yeah, I could make that work. And that could be really cheap. There's some land out there. Like, I looked at land in Texas, and there's some, acreages in Texas that you can buy, 5-10 acres, that the property taxes are like $73 a year. I would love to find a place that doesn't have any property taxes, but I don't think that exists in the United States. You can't actually own land in the United States. All land has property taxes on it, which means that you're renting it, because if you ever stop paying property taxes, the state will take the property back and sell it to somebody who will rent it, who will pay the rent. So that's what I've been thinking about. But for about the past year, I've been thinking about something else, an alternative. And the reason I started thinking about this is because I got a recommended video on YouTube. And I started going down this rabbit hole whenever I clicked on that video. The video was somebody that was living full-time on a yacht, sailing around the ocean, sailing around to the Bahamas and places like that, Key West, Florida. I was like, oh my God, that is so amazing. You know, to just live full-time on a boat and just go wherever the hell you want out on the ocean. That would be absolutely amazing. And so I started watching tons and tons of videos of all kinds of people that were living that lifestyle. And I want to do that. That's what I want to do. So I've been trying to figure out how to make that happen. So what are the, I'm sure that there are a ton of things to take into consideration to make that happen, but there are three main ones. Number one, acquiring a boat. That sounds like it would probably be the biggest obstacle, but it's not. If I liquidate my stuff, like if I decided to live full-time on a boat, I would liquidate everything, even my truck. I would sell my truck. And I would probably spend the $300 and elbow grease to make this look pretty before I sold it, because that would probably, affect the value of the truck quite a bit. I don't know how much I get for my truck. I haven't checked used truck prices lately. Back when we were in the freight boom, this truck would have sold for close to $100,000, $80,000 to $100,000. But I don't know what it would sell for now. I'm sure I could get out of it what I bought it for, because I got a hell of a deal on it. I bought it back when I bought it during the lockdowns, when everybody was going out of business, and they couldn't sell used trucks. Like the salesman I talked to said that they almost couldn't give these damn things away because the market was flooded with used trucks. So I bought it for $40,000, and it's like a top of the line Volvo V&L 780. It only had 500,000 miles on it when I bought it, and I've only put 90,000 miles on it since I've had it, so it's only got 590,000 miles on it. And it's got like all the options. It has the push button automatic, economy power mode, automatic transmission. It has heavy duty steer axle. It's rated for 13,200. Yeah, 13.2. I was trying to remember if it's 13.2 or 13.7. I think it's 13.2. And then it has heavy duty tandem axles that are rated for 40,000. I think they're 40. I know that they're not 34, which is like the minimum. So, okay, here it is. Front axle, 13,200. And then, where the hell is... rear axle first is 40. Second is 40. You have to go look up the model number to see what the manufacturer rates it as. But that last number, the last two digits, are basically the rated, the weight rating for them. So, yeah, it's got pretty much everything I wanted, except I can't remember what the, what is it? What's it called? The gear ratio. Is this a 264 gear ratio? I think this is a 264 gear ratio. Yeah. 2.64. And that was the minimum gear ratio I wanted. A lot of these trucking companies go with really low gear ratios. 264 is about the lowest that you can go before you start sacrificing pulling power. But a lot of these trucking companies started going with really low gear ratios to optimize miles per gallon. But low gear ratios are only good on flat land. Once you start pulling hills, you lose a lot of fuel with low gear ratios. So I actually wanted something right around 3, like a 285 or right around 3 was the ideal gear ratio that I wanted. Maybe even a 312. But I just don't have enough experience driving trucks with various gear ratios. Almost every truck I've driven has been a low gear ratio. But yeah, this truck was almost exactly what I wanted. There's only a couple of things about it that weren't perfect. The gear ratio was one of them. Finished my soda. Let's put the can in here and we'll throw it in the trash whenever I hop back in the truck. But yeah. Anyway, we were talking about boats. I should be able to get a lot of money out of the truck. At least $40,000. Most likely more than that. I think I could get 60 out of it. I think I could get 40 out of it selling it to a dealer. I think I could get 60 private party. But I'd have to do some research. But anyway, the point is that if I decided to live full-time on a boat, I would sell the house, the car, the truck. The car, my car, my Nissan 370Z is completely paid for. And it is in mint condition. And I think it's worth more now than the MSRP when I bought it. I think it sells now for like 40 grand used in mint condition. My car only has like 8,000 miles on it. Maybe 10. It is in mint condition. It's ultra low mileage. It's almost like a brand new car. So I could probably easily sell that thing for $30,000. I could sell the truck for, let's say, $50,000. And then the house, I still owe quite a bit of money on the house, but I'm not upside down on the house. I'm way up on the house. All those birds are back there flocking around the peanuts. I wanted to walk back there to see if I could see the TA person. I moved the trailer so that the TA person has tons of room back there. I'm not sure how they want to position their truck, but they can park their truck along the side, on the other side, or they can put their truck at the very back. I pulled far enough forward that they can put their truck at the back. So, yeah, I should be able to make a lot of money, $100,000+ selling my house. So, if I liquidated everything, I would have a couple $100,000. And you can find a yacht for anywhere from, like, you can probably find them for free all the way up to sky's the limit. But you can find a lot of yachts under 100,000. I'm confident that I could find something that was I didn't want to bother the bird. I wanted to go look down the road, but this is a nice shady spot, so we'll hang out here. So I think I could find a yacht for under 100,000. So if I liquidated everything and I got a yacht for under 100,000, that would give me, well, shit, whenever you talk about taxes and all that crap from all of those sales, the government would get half. Fucking government. I wish we would move over to a tariff tax system instead of this income tax system, because with the income tax system, we're taxed so many times. Like, I'm taxed whenever I receive my money. I pay an income tax to the federal government, a tax to Oklahoma, income tax to Oklahoma and the federal government. And then I'm taxed whenever I spend the money. I pay fuel taxes, I pay registration fees, permits. All of those are forms of taxes. And then if you invest the money into anything and make any money off of it, then you pay a capital gains tax, which that money has already been taxed. Why in the hell are they taxing it again? And now the radical left Democrats are wanting to tax money that's just sitting in the bank. Now, I know that they're telling their cult members that, oh, this only affects the evil rich people. But that's the way that the Democrats implement stuff. Well, it's not just the Democrats. That's the way politicians in general implement stuff. Is they say, oh, it's only going to affect these people. Or, oh, it's only going to be like this, like the income tax. Whenever they first implemented the income tax, it only really affected the wealthy people. I don't think you paid any income tax unless you made over $3,000 a year, which was a lot of money in 1913 whenever it was implemented. And even then, you only paid like 1% income tax. But they very quickly raised the percentage of income tax and who it affected. So if you let the government implement something, they're just going to keep expanding it. So whenever the government's talking about implementing anything, just think about how bad what they're implementing would be after they expand it for 20 or 30 or 40 years, after they just keep raising it up and increasing its reach, you know, how many people it affects and how much it affects them. So, yeah, it's really frustrating. But anyway, so let's say that after I sold all of those things, let's say that I had $140,000. Well, I would try to be really frugal with my boat purchase. Let's say that I found a boat for 40 grand. Not the greatest boat, but good enough. It has all of the things that I need, but maybe it needs a little paint or something like that. Maybe it needs a little bit of work, but it's functional, which is what I focus on. I'm a function person. Some people lean heavily toward form or appearance, and some people lean heavily toward function. And some people, well, I would say most people are somewhere in between. They want it to look pretty and they want it to do a good job. Me, I'm one of those kind of people that, yeah, it's nice if it looks pretty, but my main thing is I want it to do a great job. I want it to do an amazing job. I'm really focused on functionality. Appearance is completely secondary to me. Appearance is just a bonus to me. So, if in that situation I would have $100,000. Oh, did I even finish what I was saying about what the Democrats were planning on doing? Let me finish that real quick. The Democrats are planning on taxing money that's just sitting. Not even sitting, just assets. Things that you haven't even sold, things that you own. Like if your net worth is $100 million, then you would pay taxes based on your net worth. That is a level of crazy, insane, that is way too much government control. I am never going to have $100 million, but I am not going to be in favor of people who have $100 million having to deal with that kind of, government control. That's just insane. It's crazy. And like I said, if they implement something like that, over time they're going to keep lowering it. And it's eventually going to get to the point of like $100,000. And a lot of people are sitting there thinking, oh, that won't affect me. I'd never have $100,000 in the bank. No, it's not how much money you have in the bank, it's your net worth. How much is your house worth? $500,000? How much is your car worth? $40,000? The average net worth in this country is probably really high. And who is going to calculate the net worth to determine how much taxes you need to pay? The government. The same way they do with property taxes. The government comes in and decides how much your house is worth. Is that what you can actually sell the house for? Probably not. But the government determines how much your house is worth, and that determines how many taxes you pay on it. Anyway, enough ranting about that. So let's go back to this scenario. $40,000 on the boat. That leaves me with $100,000. If I can get my living expenses down ultra low on the boat, I could live for a really long time on $100,000. But I would eventually run out of money. I'm not sure exactly how long I could make it on 100 grand. I would guess probably at least 5 to 10 years. Longer if I was really thrifty, like beans and rice. Like I only ate beans and rice or what I could catch. You know, I could try living off the land and fishing for my own food. Just buy beans and rice and fish. But, you know, I am going to have to pay probably permits and stuff like that, registration for the boat, things like that. It's probably going to be a few hundred per year. But I'm going to need some source of income. I don't have enough money. Like if I had $10 million, then I could go buy a $100,000 yacht and just live off that for the rest of my life. But I don't have that much money. I've got like, you know, I'm a 100-aire. I've got all them hundreds. I don't have any of them thousands or them millions. I've got them hundreds. So us poor people got to be creative. So I have to figure out a way to supplement my income. Well, no, it wouldn't be supplementing. It would be my income because I wouldn't have any other income. So what could I do while I'm living on my boat out on the ocean, traveling around the Bahamas and places and scuba diving and you know, swimming and fishing and snorkeling and all that good stuff? What could I do to pay for my cost of living? It wouldn't need to be much. $500 to $1,000 a month would probably get me by. With $100,000 in the bank and $500 to $1,000 a month, I would be good to go. And if I could do that until I'm like 70, then that would be amazing. Then I could start collecting my Social Security. That right there is the dream, is that I can get in some kind of living situation where I can live really comfortable off of Social Security. Just out there living my best life on my cheap ass yacht. You know, Bezos rolling by me in his $500 million yacht with his helipad and everything. My yacht looks like a dinghy to him. He'd probably roll up on me and be like, "Do you need help? Did your boat sink?" I'm like, "This is my boat." Yeah, well, I'm not an ambitious person, so I've never sought money in my life. That's never been a driving force in what I do, is to make the most money. It's always been to do something that I can stand to do that will allow me to survive. TA should be here. Lazy bastards. Hope they didn't get lost. This place can be a pain to find. Which is why I was kind of wanting to stand back here, was to see if I saw a TA truck driving around down the road somewhere. Because the first time I came here, I couldn't find the address or the building number. Because I think 201 Skyline is like the other end of the building or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, that's the dream I'm thinking about right now, is living full-time on a boat out on the ocean. How awesome would that be? Yeah, hurricanes wouldn't be too fun, but I'm mobile. I can outrun the hurricane. Yeah, I don't know about that, but hurricanes move fairly slow. Well, not too slow. Most yachts, from what my limited research that I've done, most yachts only move at like maybe 5 to 10 miles per hour. And hurricanes, they move like 35 to 40 miles per hour. So you need a lot of advance notice on a hurricane. And I would probably, like, whenever I'm looking for a boat, really bad weather would definitely be a big factor in the boat that I would want to buy. What I would want, ideally, would be some kind of boat that can flip completely over, and it would be watertight. Something that you could seal completely in the event of a storm, and it would right itself up. You know, it was designed so that even if it flipped completely over, it would right itself, and you could seal it up to where it wouldn't take on water if it flipped over. That is what I would like to find. I would like to design my own boat. So I've been like fantasizing about, designing my own boat. And what I would like to have is, just imagine a rectangle. Basically, imagine two trailers together. Something that's about 20 feet wide, about 10 feet tall, and rectangular. I would go with maybe 60 feet long. So 20 feet wide, 10 feet tall, and 60 feet long. That would be my ideal boat. And it would be semi-submersible. What in the hell does that mean, semi-submersible? Well, I have a concern about bad weather. And have you ever watched a video of somebody sitting on a boat and you're hearing the waves splash against the side of the boat constantly? Could you imagine how annoying that would get over time? Just even in really calm waters, the water is just slapping the side of the boat all the time. Imagine if you were in a semi-submersible where it could go not really deep, but it could go to where the top of the boat was like 6 feet underwater. The temperature inside of there would be amazing. There would be no noise. And you could ride out some really nasty weather without much issue. I don't know how long or how much it would cost. Maybe not 60 feet long. Maybe 60 feet long, because these trailers are 53, and about the length of these trailers would be good. So 7 feet longer than these trailers, yeah, that'd be perfect. Now, the reason I'm thinking of a boat that big is because I had the idea of hauling freight. But if I'm not going to be hauling freight, then basically a boat the same exact size as one of these trailers would work. Square and everything. Maybe not quite as tall. Maybe like 7 feet tall. Maybe 8 feet tall. Because I would most likely have storage under the floor, so the floor wouldn't go all the way down to the bottom of the boat. The floor would probably come like 2 feet above the boat, and there would be storage under the flooring. But yeah, whenever I was sitting there thinking about how I could make money and, pay for my cost of living on a boat, hauling freight came to mind, because that's what I do right now. I haul freight. But then I looked into it, and the United States has absolutely insane requirements to be able to haul freight on the ocean. You have to have the highest level of captain's license to be able to haul freight on the ocean. You have to have a master's license with an ocean endorsement. And the requirements to get that license are absolutely insane. You have to have like 4 years of documented sea time, basically hauling freight on a large freight vessel, to qualify for that license. So you would have to I don't know how you get documented sea time. I think what it is you have to start out with the lowest level license and then work your way up. The Coast Guard runs the licensing program, and they treat it exactly like the military. The licensing program for boat captains is exactly like the military, where the licensing requirements are such that you basically have to start out at the lowest level and work your way up. And you have to have time in grade, or time on the sea, to be able to qualify for the next license up. That's the same way the military is. You have to have time in grade before you can qualify for the next grade. And that's the kind of stupid shit that the Coast Guard does for the freight hauling license out on the ocean. But what I was thinking of is I could build these custom ships that are, the original design I just talked about, which is basically 20 feet wide, 10 feet tall, 60 feet long, and basically square. All electric, the roof covered with solar panels, and it would have 2 generators for backup electricity in case you needed it, 2 gas generators in case one of them failed. And we're talking about those like Onan generators that are like $1,200. So 2 of those wouldn't be that big of a deal. $2,400. And they produce like 5,000 watts of electricity. So the idea was with a ship like that was semi-submersible, where, well, I guess it would be fully submersible, but it could only go like 6 feet underwater. You would have ballasts on it so that you could shift your height in the water. With your ballast completely empty, the boat would be designed in a way that it could travel in shallow water. It would basically be a flat bottom boat. And it could travel in shallow water. So you could go to ports that were not like deep water ports. So what I thought was I could specialize in going to places that were off of, your normal sea lanes. Like Easter Island or something like that. And I think that could be a very good business. Just imagine, instead of having to have all your stuff come into a port like the Port of LA or the Port of Long Beach, imagine if you had a contract with UPS and UPS started building facilities at the, edge of the water, ocean edge, like Great Lakes or East Coast, Gulf Coast, wherever. Just imagine UPS started building facilities all along the coastline with their own private ports. Now, these wouldn't have to be anything special. This could be like some cheap wooden dock. And then you could have some cheap little crane, and there would be a door on top of the boat, a panel that you could remove that would allow you to take pallets in and out with a little crane. And then you could have rollers in the boat to where you could easily just roll the pallets around and put them up there and pull them out by crane. All right, there's TA. I think that's TA. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's TA. I'm gonna let him know where I'm at. Hello there. You here for me, Landstar?
Yeah.
It's that trailer right there, and you can pull in here, and I made a bunch of room for you. I think there's enough room if you want to put your truck behind my trailer.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to do there, I made you a bunch of room.
Yeah, I'll probably go to the back.
Yeah, there's a tire flat on each side, both sides. So. Yeah, he's able to get right there behind. So this one, I saw a nail in it.
Oh, okay. In the middle or where?
Yeah, it was, if I remember correctly, it was right around in here, but I don't know where it's at. The other one, I haven't figured out why it's flat. It's the outside on the back. I ran the auto air system for an hour, but it wouldn't do it. And then the ABS light is not coming on. And they said that you won't work on the marker light because it's up too high. It's the front marker light.
Yeah.
It's really dim. So I'll take that to a shop afterward. So yeah, I don't know if
Does it turn on?
Doesn't turn on. So I don't know if it's the light or the ABS is out. But disconnect and reconnect the pigtail, does not come on. Let me go do it for you.
Has this trailer been sitting here?
Yes. I'm just picking it up. It's been here for probably a week or more. So, all right, I just plugged it in. Nothing. No light. Yeah. I think this guy might not know much about the ABS. He thinks the ABS is just not functional. So this might be an issue. But we'll let him do his thing. So yeah, what I was thinking was, if I created that boat, if I had one custom made, then I could talk with somebody like UPS and work out some kind of contract with them where I would haul freight from places that are off of normal freight lanes, you know, islands out in the middle of nowhere. And I could possibly, you know, expand on that and maybe even have more ships made and hire people, because that's what I was already talking about, was imagine how much better it would be. It would be a lot more cost effective for shipping. Imagine the ocean full of semi trucks instead of full of mega container ships. Mega container ships are a massive pain in the ass. What if you could just have semi trucks hauling loads all across the ocean? How much does it cost to move a single container? That's about how much a semi truck can haul. How much is a single container? One of these freight companies charges, I don't know. The lowest I've ever heard of was $2,000 a container. That was when the market crashed. And it got as high as $20,000 a container during the lockdowns. So, I think the average cost for a container is like $8,000. It might be $4,000, but let's say it's just $4,000. Hauling a container from China to the United States, let's say it's $4,000. Well, you have to take that container out of the port and take it to a warehouse, which costs you another $500, $1,000, $1,500. And then you have to pay for it to go from the warehouse over to whatever terminal, which costs, I don't know, $500. So you're up to like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. It could be upwards of $8,000 to $10,000 to get something from China to like a UPS terminal. Even if you could do it for the exact same cost, but deliver directly to the terminal, I think that would be a huge win. But that's what I'm thinking about, is I don't plan on making that business, but I would just want to be able to do it solo to support myself. So I've been thinking about all these things, but hauling freight in a boat just doesn't seem like it's anything reasonable I'm going to be able to do because the licensing is just insane. And he brought his diagnostic equipment and everything. I didn't expect him to bring his own electrical. It's working now? It wasn't connected. Awesome, that's an easy fix. I like it.
Okay, so it's gonna be on. I think it's gonna stay on.
Yeah, it's flashing right now.
Oh, okay. It'll stay on.
Yeah, that's good as long as it
It's not
works.
gonna detect the sensors because it's been standing here. So you're gonna have to run it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as it's working.
Yeah. It wasn't connected.
You know, that's like the third time I've had that where it just wasn't connected. How do they come unconnected?
Same trailer or different?
No, the different trailers.
Unless they just.
Maybe there's somebody going around disconnecting them. But oh, that's awesome. That's good. I like easy stuff. So, ABS light was not connected. Good to go. So, yeah, the whole living in a boat thing, the biggest hurdle is trying to find a way to make money. How in the hell do I make money living on a boat? And if you go and watch YouTube videos of people living on boats, and almost all of them tell you what they do for money. And is that yard dog coming in here? A Hyder yard dog, Hyder. I'm guessing that's the company that Maddox hired to move trailers around here. But what are some of the things that people do to make money? There are people that will go and just dock at a port somewhere and basically live in their boat at that port for a few months and work as a waiter or whatever job they can get. And then once they've, restocked their boat and they've put some money aside, then they'll go back to living on their boat until they run out of money. That does not sound like fun to me. For some people that sounds like fun. That does not sound like fun to me. What are some other things? There are people that have remote jobs. And when I say remote jobs, I don't mean like 40-hour-a-week work remote jobs. I don't recall anyone that I saw that has like a normal call center job, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And they're sailing around the world on a boat. And I think the reason for that is probably because the internet is not very good out on the ocean. The people that do basically work from their boat, telework, typically the ones that I've seen, they're doing contract work where they will park at a port where they have good internet, and then they'll do some contract work for a few days or a week or something, and then they'll go back out. So it's not like a normal schedule telework type situation. It's intermittent contract stuff. And most of the people that I've seen YouTube videos of that are doing that stuff, they have experience and certifications and degrees and knowledge where they're able to do really expensive contract type work. So they only need to work, get a couple of jobs a year and they're good. What are some other things? Social media. There are people who make a living off social media. One of the most common things that I saw are people that do boat tours. Like they will like bring people onto their boat and just like sail around an area and scuba dive and swim, and basically they're running a tour boat. Some of them fish, whatever. But you need a special license to do that, which is not easy to get. It's the like lowest level Coast Guard license. And but you still have to be Coast Guard licensed to do boat tours. Anything commercial involving your boat, you have to be Coast Guard licensed. So I don't like any of those things. Social media sounds fun, but I don't know. I think it'd be a lot of work to build a channel up to the point where it could actually be profitable. It's my understanding that what you should expect to make on YouTube, I've never had a monetized account, but from everything that I've read and all the YouTube videos I've watched of people talking about it, you should expect to make somewhere around $12 per 1,000 views. So if you have a small channel that's only getting like 50 views, you're gonna be making nothing. So if you have a medium-sized channel that's getting like 5,000 views per video, then what is that? That's $60 per video. If you're uploading one video a day, that's $420 a week. It's not easy to get a channel to the point where you're consistently getting 5,000 views on every video. That is hard to do. And you're only getting $420 a week? That sucks. A lot of these YouTubers put in an incredible amount of time recording and editing videos. Anyone who watches my channel knows that I'm a low effort YouTuber. I don't edit. I don't put any thought into my videos. Like I don't come into my videos with a transcript or a bullet point. I'm not reading from a teleprompter. I'm just complete improvisation on every single one of my, well, I think there was one video early on that I had a list of shit that I wanted to talk about. I think I've done one video where I had a list that I read from to make sure that I covered all the stuff that I wanted to talk about. But oh, sorry, that just caught my attention. The top left corner of that Landstar trailer looks like it got bent up and somebody got a hammer or something on it and bent it back down. What in the hell is he doing? Oh, is he putting the jack underneath there? I don't know what he's doing. Might be placing the jack. But yeah, social media. If I could get, what would we need to get? A minimum of $500 a week. So, like, just not much more than 5,000 views per video. If I was doing a single video per day, let's just do weekly views instead of like daily or video views. Weekly views. So, that would be 35,000 views. 35,000 views per week to make $420. So if we could get up to like 50,000 views per week, 50,000 views per week total. I'm not gonna, what would the math on that be? That'd be $600. I think that's $600 a week. If I had my expenses really low, I think I could make that work. I don't think I'd have to put too much effort into my videos. It's mainly two things that mainly get you views are the title and the oh crap, what is it? It's the picture that you see whenever you look at the video. I forgot what it's called. So like the main picture of the video whenever you're scrolling over it, whenever you're looking at the video. The title and that are the two biggest things that'll get you views. And if you follow my channel, you know that I put the most horrible titles to get views. I put titles like another video or, you know, me talking again or something like that. I don't put titles like, you know, bashing Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris is the next Hitler or something like that. That'll get you a whole bunch of views. You know, you'll have the radical cult, the radical left cult clicking on your video going, what's he saying about my Kamala? That's a good way to get views, is to make videos about things that are contentious. Negative videos get a lot of views. Your haters will watch the videos. Yeah, I think he's airing the tires up to see if he can detect leaks on them. They usually take them completely off and then start checking them. Looks like he might be checking them while they're still on. The tires go flat for a lot of reasons. I've had a flyer trying to say flat and tire in one word. We're just trying to shorten things up. I've had a tire go flat. Well, it didn't go flat. It was losing air. It was losing like 10 pounds of air per week or something like that. And I had to keep airing it up. And I took it into the shop. And they found the problem is that the bead, it just had a bad bead. Something happened with the bead. All they did was let all the air out of the tire, clean the rim, clean the tire, and then put some sealant stuff on it and put it back on there, and it was no longer leaking around the bead. But I better wrap this video up. It's getting too damn long. Yeah, maybe I'll try to make a social media channel about boating or something like that. Or maybe I'll just convert this channel. The whole time I've had this channel, I have tried to keep the subscriber count low. I've intentionally tried to keep the subscriber count low. Maybe I'll stop doing that. Maybe I'll start doing some proper titles. Maybe I'll thumbnail. That's what I was thinking of. Maybe I'll do some thumbnails. Who knows? $600 a week. That should do it. If I could make $600 a week off YouTube, I think that would support me living full-time on a boat. I think I could make that happen. Anyway, it's just something to think about. Right now, I need to go check the weather and see if I'm driving through Colorado or if I'm going to take 40 to California. I don't think I'm going to be taking 10. And it is hot out here. You can't believe that only like 500 miles away they're having a blizzard. That's crazy. But it's like, it feels like 85, 90 degrees out here. I can't wait to get to some damn cold weather. But yeah, I need to start doing some trip planning and maybe grab a snack while he's wrapping this stuff up. And then head out. Maybe we'll throw up another video while I'm driving. I try to do driving videos, but I do a lot of nighttime driving. And that camera sucks at night. You can't see anything on that camera at night. It's just a black screen. And then daytime, it seems like I'm always driving in a city during the daytime, constant interruptions. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video and grab something to snack on and get my trip plan done and get ready to head out over the road. So hope you're having a good one. Bye.